For the first time in probably a lot of people's lifetimes here, Manchester United are taking on Huddersfield at the Kirkless Stadium in the top flight of English football, in a very unusual and unprecedented matchup in a season where Huddersfield are really performing above expectations. But with Manchester United, they face a real dilemma. Their next matchup is against Manchester City in the Carabao Cup last 16, and shoveling the deck and changing formation doesn't seem to have worked for United mostly. But they are the best defensive team in the league, only with a goal conceding of 5. But it always seems to be when Manchester United try something more traditional like a 4-4-2, that they start to show holes and gaps in the defence. So what Gregg Popovich has done is put his kind of second unit out under the formation that he's used, for the most part, that has won in matches. The Sailors in goal with Smith, Gibson, Johnson and Malone on the Huddersfield side. He's with Whitebread and Mui in the midfield. Ahead of them is Controller, Jack Grealish and Van Lamara, and Dipitere is up front, with Robert Green, I believe that is, making the bench. So, Gregg Popovich, he plays David De Gea in goal, that's usual. The back three is Rojan Williams with Smalling and Daley Blind. The midfield is with Solby, McTominay, Gomez, Fellaini and Ashley Young. Up front, it's Skizzy is paired with James Wilson. Aaron Henwood, Eric Bailly, Tuazo Tuanzebe, Martial and Zach Deliri on the bench, just in case something goes wrong. Alex Ferguson went and bought Van Persie and dominated it in I think what turned out to be his final season. That's a free kick given against the man. He's going to get booked for that. And it's Gibson. So this presents a real chance from the free kick, and well, that's unfortunate really, because I think the man has got the ball there. I don't think he's even seen Wilson coming. It could be obstructing, if anything. Well, here we go with the Huddersfield wall. And it's going to be Ashley Young to take it. He's scored a couple of free kicks in his time. I think he got a couple for Manchester United in years gone by. And here he is with this one. And it's over the bar and out for a goal kick. I think it was always going over from the moment he hit it, sadly. It does happen. Well, that man, the head coach of Huddersfield, he's certainly made a name for himself now, hasn't he? And Huddersfield are enjoying their life in this league, and they're very serious about it too. £32 million being spent, which is quite a lofty sum of money when you consider Huddersfield's budget is nowhere near the top teams. Brad pulls that shot wide. Oh, look at the space he had there. He was quickly closed down by, I think that's Rojan Williams back there. With the hair kind of makeshift captain for tonight. Down to Angel Gomez. And is that a foul by Gibson, which could result in him going off? If he is keeping his cards in his pocket. No, he's not. And Whitehead is booked for that one. And the Huddersfield kind of players are kind of losing their heads a little bit. It's not something they should really lose their heads over. Gomez is nowhere near the ball. It's really obstructing him getting there. And the Huddersfield players really need to calm down and fast. One of them could be going off. Solby picked up by Young. Williams back into the box. And Blin kind of throws himself at it. Fellaini came up with it. James Wilson, wonderful turn and wonderful movement into the box. And Van Laar gets it out for a corner. James Wilson was very energetic there, getting forward. Ashley Young to take the corner. Out towards anyone, so I think he was Wilson kind of lurking in there. Scott McTominay. It's played in James Wilson. And Manchester United certainly looking a little bit better than they did against Basel, so the formation is definitely working. Gregg Popovich, it seems like 3-5-2 is his best asset. And I think the attacking, kind of energetic kind of play of the young players is the reason why Manchester United are so powerful when it comes to up front. But the defensive three of Bailly and Jones in particular, and Lindelof, is really coming into its own too. Smith with a foul, the referee blows again. And he's giving a lot to Manchester United. Martin Atkinson in this first half. With 2 Huddersfield players. Zardes in a bit of a hole in the Huddersfield defence. And Zardes forcing a corner. Already Manchester United creating a lot more than they did against Benfica in the Champions League. That could be an encouraging sign. Young with the corner. It's fallen to Chris Smalling. And Zardes is beaten to it by Lasol. Jack Grealish has gone past Smalling. And Deportivo's got the ball back, and Valdemar's come out, and David De Gea is in nowhere. And Lafar's put it over. And how has he done that? It's awful. It's an awful attempt. And the manager will be having a real word in that guy's ear later, because that is an awful opportunity, to be fair. No need to skyrocket it like that. Now this to James Wilson. And here comes James Wilson into the box. And a great tackle by Smith. And out by Gibson for a throw. And already Manchester United are looking a little bit better than they did against Benfica. And it's for definite sure. There it is. And he was pushed by Mui, and the referee gave nothing. And Rojan Williams is going to come up with that, but it's going to be a poor first touch. What on earth was that? Gregg Popovich looks on in disgust over that touch, and it might be wonder if he's subbed at half time with a touch like that. Here comes Deputy, and Rojan Williams immediately turns for his error and gets that ball out, but it is only as far as Mui. Grealish, great tackle by McTominay. Fellaini. And referee is coming back to another incident, and he's calling over for Chris Smalling, I think. And what's this about? He's going to book Chris Smalling. What on earth for? Well, let's have a look. And that's why, and that's a viable booking, as far as I'm concerned. Just clouted him, really. And that's what resulting in this free kick. Can't see who's going to take it. It's a Mui, I think. Oh. Ashley Williams with Tomini. And on Solby. On Solby, that's brilliant. And Zardes. And Solby, who's not really featured much in the Popovich yet. It was his best passage to play so far. Zardes straight at the keeper. Corner. Huddersfield is certainly making a game of this, but United are definitely on top of the two teams. And so is kind of... I dropped the ball. What on earth was going on there?
There will be a minimum of 4 minutes of added time.
4 minutes of added time. It's been a very even game here. Manchester United just slightly on top. Zardes. Zardes pulls it back towards Angel Gomez, who scores! And what a break for Angel Gomez. And I believe that's his second goal of his career and his first in the league this season. Wonderful unselfish play by Jose Zardes. Pulling it back, noticing that Angel Gomez was in a much better position. And coolly slotted by the man who is being raved about by Manchester United fans. And Angel Gomez has given Manchester United the lead. I do believe that is Angel Gomez's second goal of his career, first in the league for a definite sure. But whatever the case, Angel Gomez has confirmed to have given Manchester United the lead right on the stroke of half time, quite literally. And Huddersfield, who probably have it all to do with trying to keep him from going down to 10 men. Now have to try and come back from a goal behind. And with Manchester United in this sort of mood, it's almost going to be almost impossible. Oh, well done, Solby. That's a crunching tackle. And the Huddersfield man definitely felt it. That's the end of the first half. I don't think the referee's going to bring it back for a booking. Whatever the case, Manchester United have the lead, and Angel Gomez certainly has set his name in lights again tonight. He's been looking the most promising, the most likely to score a goal at some point, and now he's finally got one in the league anyway. And he's given Manchester United a lead at the break. Huddersfield 0, Manchester United 1, and Angel Gomez once again has his name up in lights, under the lights. And Scargua into the box. David De Gea has cleared it for a corner. It's a flying save by David De Gea, quite literally. I don't think he needed to go for it, quite honestly. It was so far the goal camera couldn't keep up. We with the corner. It's out by De Gea. Sees Zardes. And can't get away. McKenna with the shot. Oh, what a strike. And Huddersfield have equalised. And it's probably against the run of play, but Huddersfield will certainly take it. What a goal for the home fans. Huddersfield have scored against Manchester United at home. The first goal in the top flight of English football for Huddersfield against Manchester United. What a story that is, and what a strike that is too. David De Gea nowhere. And it takes a lot to beat David De Gea. But especially when you're a small team, no disrespect intended, like Huddersfield, you know, a team expected not really to stay up, who are having a pretty respectable season by their accounts anyway. And that has just made it a little bit sweeter. But it is an equalising goal rather than the lead. And we know that Manchester United can kick up a gear when they want. And just to confirm why you see this unusual lineup for Gregg Popovich, that is the reason. The next game will be against Manchester City in the last 16 of the Carabao Cup. And you know that Gregg Popovich wants to win that one. Even if he doesn't win this one, it's the City one that's more important. And it's good to know. It'd be good to know that Greg has got his priorities straight when it comes to Manchester United and big matches. And the thing is, he could be questioning a little bit in the smaller ones. That's a great move and turn by Gazzy Zardes. And he couldn't pull out, but what a move there by Zardes. It was beautiful. Well, Huddersfield are making a substitution. Dean Whitehead is going off for Williams here. Angel Gomez. Leads to Zardes. Zardes has laid it back again. And James Wilson has scored. And United take back the lead. And Gazzy Zardes with another superb assist. This time to James Wilson. And Gazzy Zardes' unselfish play has been the star of the night. Wilson, great move. And great run and great strike as well. Cool as a cucumber. James Wilson has been lingering for a while at Manchester United. He's been on loan a couple of times. But he scores the goal that puts them back in front against a very valiant Huddersfield team here. First goal of the league for the season for James Wilson. But Gazzy Zardes' kind of assist play has been sensational so far. And Manchester United certainly doing a lot better than they did against Benfica. And it just proves that the 3-5-2 formation, and not the formations mean a lot in football, they don't. At least I don't think they should do. But what do I know? I only commentate the matches. But, Angel Gomez. Gregg Popovich making a triple substitution as Ashley Young, Ramadan Solby and Scott McTominay come off for Juan Mata, Axel Tuanzebe and Aaron Hemwood for the final 8 minutes. And Aaron Hemwood making his third substitution appearance in a row. It's very unlike Aaron Hemwood to be making substitute appearances. They've all been away games, which is even more unusual. Oh, and here's a chance there for Divacy, and I think it was Blind and Rojan Williams getting in each other's way and forcing the corner. Like communication there for the youngster and Danny Blind. Here's the gun to Aaron Henwood, and look at the gap Huddersfield have left for him. Aaron Henwood's going to shoot. I think it might have even come off Zardes. And Aaron Henwood has gone down in the tackle. And Henwood struggling. And Gregg Popovich does not want to see that. Jack Grealish is going off for Quara. And the Manchester United fans wait with breath to see if Aaron Henwood actually moves. It looks like he is. But he was hurt. I think the momentum kind of took him a bit off colour there. Oh! And that's not a bad strike. Well, Aaron Henwood certainly went for that, didn't he? And look at this shot. It's a stunning strike. It was... Oof. I could have hit the post at worst, but... Not bad from Aaron Henwood. It took a knock, but... I think knowing Aaron Henwood, he probably just shook it off and kept running, because that's what he does. Marta's in with the corner in towards Zardes. And gathered by the keeper. And Manchester United win at Huddersfield. It was a battle though, but the great distribution of Kazi Zardes and the assist to make goals for Angel Gomez and James Wilson definitely did separate the sides. And they do have to assess the knock that Aaron Henwood took, although the following shot was quite spectacular. Unfortunately, it didn't go in. But Manchester United definitely got the job done tonight, and now they look forward to the first Manchester derby of the season, coming at the back of 3 well-earned points against Huddersfield. The second unit did their job tonight, which is exactly what Gregg Popovich wanted them to do. Probably more, actually. Manchester United win by 2-1 against Huddersfield, a very valiant Huddersfield at that. Well, before we look at the scores for tonight, it looks like the league dynamic has changed completely, because unfortunately the champions have ended Watford's magnificent unbeaten run, but boy did Watford put up a fight. Chelsea won it by 3-2 in the end, but the landscape completely changed with Manchester United and Manchester City both winning today. Southampton beating West Brom by 2-1. Spurs and Liverpool holding each other to a 1-1 draw. Stoke City and Bournemouth were the same. Swansea beat Leicester by 0-0, and Brighton and West Ham ended in a 2-2 draw. So the B team unit did it for Manchester United. It put them back at the top of the table thanks to Watford's loss to Chelsea during their valiant fight. Southampton have come from nowhere, and they're all of a sudden in third place ahead of Spurs, Liverpool, Everton and Arsenal. Manchester City, Chelsea and Brighton completing the top 10. Huddersfield, despite their loss to United, stay well clear of the relegation zone. Speaking of which, Newcastle are still even points with Burnley. West Brom and Bournemouth are down there. They've earned another point, but they are still in heavily struggling. The first Manchester derby match of the season is a win or go home scenario. So tonight at the Etihad Stadium, it's Manchester City taking on Manchester United in the Carabao Cup. Next, live. Well, it's certainly much earlier than we all were expecting. But Manchester United and Manchester City have been drew in the last 16 of the Carabao Cup. So here at the Etihad Stadium tonight, battle commences for the two Manchester clubs. Gregg Popovich's first ever Manchester derby is right here, right now. And he had no mince of words for Pep Guardiola, questioning the defensive stature signings that he had spent in the summer window. And obviously Gregg Popovich very outspoken, and he said, "Pep, I may not know you, but you're going to know me," which was a very interesting line. So fight from Gregg Popovich in his first Manchester derby press conference tonight. Claudio Bravo starts and goal on the pitch, and he's with Kyle Walker and Otamendi and Mangala with Densup in front of him. The midfield is David Silva with Fernandinho and Gundogan. There's another Silva on the right wing. I'm not sure who that is, But it's with Sergio Aguero and Don Leonardo up front with him. So it's going to be very interesting to see what Silva does what today. I'm going to have to kind of differentiate that. But Gregg Popovich, David De Gea is in goal with Lindelof, chosen by, of course, in defence. Aaron Henwood makes his first full start of the season, of course, against his kind of nemesis, if you like. Jesse Lingard is with Herrera and Zaha and Pogba. The rest of the midfield, it's Marcus Rashford and Anthony Martial, of course, up front. The big positive news is that earlier this week, Romelu Lukaku returned to first-team training. He doesn't make the team tonight, but there are questions whether he'll make even the team at all, considering the rise to prominence that has been Marcus Rashford and Anthony Martial so far. So, Darren Drysdale, he's got the job of trying to keep these Manchester clubs on the straight and narrow on the pitch, and even on the sidelines they might have to have someone if Gregg Popovich has his way, but nothing so far. But here we go on the football pitch then, and as we said, Aaron Henwood making his first start of the season, and Manchester City fans looked at his name on the team sheet and probably had a collective sigh, because his scoring record against City is almost immaculate, and his performances against City always rise of that little bit more. And when you're a true red like Aaron Henwood is, that can only be a good thing when you're on the red side of Manchester anyway. And here comes Fernandinho on the blue end already. Aguero, there is two Silvas on the pitch, so I'm going to have to try and kind of differentiate that. I guess the way we can tell David Silva from the other one is that David Silva is now bald, which was very surprising given the start of the season, and everyone was like, "Wow, that's different." And but at least we know who he is. I think the signing of the other Silva, as you saw in the team sheet there, was probably the reason for the drastic hairstyle change of David Silva in particular. Sergio Aguero, always the goal machine up front for City, and for United it pretty much has been Anthony Martial all the way. To a degree or two. Zaha's got clouted there by his defender, but he's back up. I'm not sure if this is the first derby that Wilfried Zaha will be ever taking part in. Claudio Bravo picked ahead of Ederson tonight. Ederson, the rising goalkeeper in the Manchester City ranks. And here's Aguero. Aguero has got so much space. He's being pursued by Aaron Henwood. Aguero goes in, and has it gone in off Jones? No. Side netting. Oh, Aguero almost squeezed that in. David De Gea saves it, and I think it comes off Jones's calf inadvertently, and it is out for a corner. Well, burst of pace by Aguero. Where was the defence when it came to Manchester United there? There's absolutely nowhere to be seen. And they've been feigned out a bit there by David Silva's corner. Lingard. Martial is linked up with Rashford Pogba well there. And Rashford is on the run. It's a great pass from Pogba, Marcus Rashford. And it's clipped off Kyle Walker. And out for a corner. Oh, Marcus Rashford almost getting the perfect end to the play there. Kyle Walker with a last-ditch tackle. And we are still on at 0-0. Pogba with the resulting corner. And Lindelof and everyone is in there. And Mangala's kicked it in. And Manchester United have been caught a bit cold. He's off with a looping ball. That's greatly played. And Aguero is coming forward here. Here's Aguero. Look at all the space he's got. He's gone past Lindelof. And saved by Jones. And this match has now kicked up some notches. And there's Kyle Walker playing back to Otamendi. And Gundogan takes to the to Bernardo Silva. So that's the reason we're going to tell the difference. And Silva, and the ball is got in from Aguero. And I thought it was offside, but it's not. It stood. And Aguero has scored. And I think David De Gea was majorly unlucky there because the ball went through him. But City have really scored. And on the basis of it, you probably say they deserve it. And a great turn here. David De Gea, majorly unfortunate, really. The Aguero had to deal with Lindelof, and he did really well, to be fair to him. And great goal. David De Gea, very unfortunate that he came off his leg. And Javier Aquino has scored his first goal in the cup this season, and City have the lead in the first derby of the season. And Pep Guardiola looks to have the first winning words when it comes to these two. Gregg Popovich said you might know him at the end, but it's Pep Guardiola that has the lead. And City also a goal to nil. Zaha, Pogba, Rashford to Martial, and Martial has equalised. No surprise, Anthony Martial has done it again against Manchester City, and it's no surprise because Anthony Martial is on fire right now. Well, it was the B team that scored 2 against Huddersfield. The A team is back, and that includes Anthony Martial. Well, he and Marcus Rashford, you would have thought, would be looking over their shoulders at the return of Romelu Lukaku, but I think it's the other way around, because Martial and Rashford have been deadly up front for Manchester United. First goal in the Carabao Cup for Anthony Martial. That's mainly because Zardes has been doing all the scoring in the Carabao Cup so far. And the comeback factor is once again in effect here for Manchester United at the Etihad. It's 1-1 and we're all square. And it's all going off here. And Lingard couldn't pass him after getting the ball there. And Aaron Henwood has gone ball chasing. And that's always a scary sign. And Aaron Henwood comes at you because you might think you'll lose him, and you don't. Aaron Henwood is a pest when it comes to chasing the football. And Gregg Popovich full of comforting words for his vice-captain as well. Loves his work. And Martial, it's a penalty, surely it is. And Manchester City could be in trouble here. Mangala has been booked. Aaron Henwood is on the pitch. And one of the better penalty takers in the league. And that is a clear penalty all day long. And Mangala is probably right to be booked as well. Well, it's Henwood and Martial debating who takes it. But the finger has been pointed at Aaron Henwood. So it will be him that takes this. And no surprise really. And it's saved by Bravo. Aaron Henwood has not scored on that occasion. He's rusty. He's been away for a while, but normally he buries those. I wonder what happened. Might have. That's a strange one. It's a weak one by his standards, but he'll be okay. Oh, look at that! Look at that! He's chasing it. But he's gone down, but the referee is playing advantage to Manchester City. What on earth is he doing that? It was Aaron Henwood who was fouled. What is going on there? Bizarre. Here's Pogba anyway. It's all going off here at the Etihad Stadium. What a game we're having. Everything is happening. Penalties. And Claudio Bravo, he's a very capable keeper in his own right, to be honest. And it's all going off in the box. And, oh my. This is end-to-end stuff, literally edge-of-your-seat stuff right now. And another booking for that earlier offence from Bernardo Silva. So we've finally learnt the identity of the second Silva. We know what to call him, because I didn't actually know he was on the team sheet. Oh, and saved by De Gea. Well, what an action-packed first half this has been. And that's Aquino. Good save by De Gea. Silva with the corner. Aaron Henwood literally getting himself stuck in. Typical Henwood play. Clears it, but David Silva has headed it back in, and Aguero has laid it off to Aquino. A wonderful play by Eric Bailly and cleared for a corner, but what an action-packed first half here at the Etihad Stadium in this matchup. The stakes are high, and both teams are playing like it. And it's been wonderful to watch. Action everywhere. And Aquino gave City the lead, but then they equalised thanks to Anthony Martial, and Aaron Himwood had a penalty saved by Claudio Bravo as he's kind of struggling to score from penalties again after his last season's penalty stop disaster. And it looks like it's come back to haunt him again. And against Manchester City of all teams, can you believe it? But what an action-packed first half, which is so difficult to put into a box, into a pad of notes. Everything's been going on here. It's been a fascinating game, and it's a draw so far, a goal apiece. Fair to say that Pep Guardiola has probably had it a bit tougher at City than he did at Barcelona. He hasn't got Lionel Messi to do some of the work for him. Martial has belted it in the goal and scored for United. And Martial is looking a totally different player to what he did last season. Rashford playing it off, and Martial, it's brilliant. Fantastic strike from Anthony Martial. Bravo, nowhere near that. And just phenomenal at the moment is Anthony Martial. And he's benefiting a lot from Marcus Rashford being on the pitch. And like we said, is Romelu Lukaku's space in the team under threat? You have to think that maybe it could be. Martial gets 2, and United are now ahead. And it's the same score, but it was at Huddersfield. And double substitution happening for Manchester United. Henry Mkhitaryan and Marouane Fellaini coming on for Jesse Lingard and Aaron Himwood, who is run himself a bit ragged, I would have thought. And he has been pushing a bit too hard. Those turns, he was really slow, so I think his lack of match sharpness probably was hurting him a bit. The penalty miss might have had something to do with that, and then he gets cut down, quite literally there. But no foul given. Mkhitaryan plays in Pogba. Look at this play from Manchester United all of a sudden. Rashford, and saved by Bravo. Oh, Walker, and that's a foul on Mkhitaryan, but the referee says no. What a ball. David Silva heads it back down. Aquino comes in. Lindelof has dealt with it. The ball's come through to Aguero, and David De Gea has saved it. Oh my. As Gabriel Jesus comes on for Sergio Aguero. That's his last action of the game. Silva with the corner, and over the bar by Otamendi. Oh, what a game. What a game. Neither team deserves to lose. They really don't. It's been an absolutely enthralling game of football. They played like the stakes that are on the line today. Both teams can be very proud of their efforts. That's for sure, but one team has to win today. Well, not necessarily, but I don't think any team would neither want to replay, really. Kyle Walker deals with Mkhitaryan again. Jesus tackled by Fellaini. 4 minutes of added on time. Here comes Saha, who's been largely ineffective this game so far, although hold the phone. Has he gone down? Is it a penalty? No, it's not. But Zaha is down. And he's slow getting back to his feet. And the referee is played on. No, he hasn't. What's happened? It's a free kick. Earth 4. That's a bit unusual. I didn't see the incident. Kevin De Bruyne is lining up to take this free kick. What is the status with Wilfried Zaha? Is he back on his feet? This will be one last chance for City. And Silva has put it over. Fellaini. Oh, wonderful stuff from Marouane Fellaini of all people. And here comes Mkhitaryan. In towards Martial. Game over. That is it. Martial has scored. The goalkeeper's come out. But Anthony Martial has put the result all beyond doubt. And Manchester United are winning this derby. And just when City probably could have chummed it up one last chance, it's Manchester United, and once again it's that man Anthony Martial. Look how high he jumps to get that ball. Fantastic stuff from Anthony Martial. And I believe that's a hat-trick for him, isn't it? I believe it is. Anthony Martial gets the match ball then. What a hat-trick from Martial against Manchester City. And in a fixture where Aaron Hill makes all the headlines, he's had his penalty saved tonight and gone off in a substitution, and it's been all about Anthony Martial instead. But I guess Aaron Hill didn't like the spotlight anyway. So Anthony Martial gets the match ball in an enthralling contest. What a game here at the Etihad. Definitely game of the season so far. It's been a joy to commentate on tonight. Anthony Martial gets the match ball for a sensational hat-trick after City took the lead from Aquino. It's so many highlights, just not enough to put into a short match note snippet. But Anthony Martial is certainly making a case for to be a starter, maybe alongside Romelu Lukaku, which I think would be the plan anyway when he eventually returns. Tonight, it has been the Anthony Martial show yet again for Manchester United. City 1, United 3, and another comeback result from behind has pulled off for Gregg Popovich. The man is performing miracles against the big teams, and these big teams are now fearing the name Gregg Popovich. This man is serious about his plans for this club. Gregg Popovich, he looks like the man at the moment, doesn't he? And he's won at Anfield, and he's won at the Etihad, and he means business. City 1, United 3. And at the end of quite an epic night in the Carabao Cup, so to speak, Brighton and Huddersfield, the two promoted sides to the Premier League, beat their opponents in the Carabao Cups as they progress. So Brighton won by 2-1, and Huddersfield won by 2-0. Whew, what a night. The draw for the Carabao Cup quarter-finals has given us all Premier League ties for 3 matches, with the highlight being Arsenal taking on Manchester United. Watford have Brighton and Bournemouth have Huddersfield, and the only odd one out is the champions Chelsea, who will take on Derby County.